What is going on? This is Nicodemus, the king of indies himself, and welcome to episode 6 of the Trophy Life podcast, your premier podcast for all things PlayStation, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back. And this week we got an interesting show for you guys. I'm not even gonna lie, it's a very interesting show. We got a lot of things to talk about this episode, so you guys just hold on to your seats, tune in, try not to get offended, okay? Because we about to keep it real up in here as always. But I want to introduce the panel real quick before we get into anything at all. So let's start with our guest, our special guest tonight. Tony from Throwdown Podcast is in the building tonight. Tony, tell everybody what's up, man.
All right, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on, very honored to be here and all that. So yeah, man, I am the host of Throwdown, which is a dope podcast, all gaming. We don't really have a specific platform we talk about everything. And Throwdown has existed since 2012, but the newly reincarnated version started in 2014, and we're getting really, really big now, And then nice. As far as me, my day job, I'm a reporter for geek.com. I'm still I was about to curse, by the way. I'm still crazy about the fact that I've been writing about games for years, and now I'm actually getting paid for it. It's crazy.
I'm living it. You didn't hit a plateau.
Son, I'm living that life right now, son. So
living the dream. Living the dream.
Nice. This man's living my dream.
Yeah, but yeah, for real though. Thank you for having me on. I looked at the show notes. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a hot show. Man. Can't wait.
we gamers over here, man. We like to talk about video games. No feelings involved. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna keep it gaming. So let's introduce our other co-host tonight. We're gonna start with the British Beef himself, my man Chris. What's good, man?
What's up, Nick? What's up, PlayStation Nation? What up, Tick Nation? How we all doing? It's the boy from the fine Isles of the UK. Shout out to Tony. Thanks for coming on, man. It's wicked. I'm looking forward to having a good old chat with you later. And my boy Kevin as well. It's gonna be a fun one. Let's get on with it, man. Kev, you're up next.
Hey everybody, thank you Tony for hopping on, and I'm really excited for today's show. Should be interesting, especially with our recent news that we've been hearing rumors about over the last few days. So let's get into it.
Yeah, man, it's all gravy out here. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the chat. Somebody said this is the worst Tick show because it's a PlayStation show. So shout out to the haters out there who hate PlayStation, man. You know what I'm saying? We love you guys. Appreciate you guys joining. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit that thumbs down. You heard me? Appreciate the view, because that's really all that matters. Appreciate that. But yeah, this is the PlayStation podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And what I'm saying, we are gamers at the end of the day. So, it's all about gaming at the end of the day, regardless of what platform you play on. You know what I'm saying? So speaking of gaming, what games you guys been playing this week? Right quick, if you've been playing anything at all. Anybody, I don't care.
Tony, hit us up, man.
All right. Yeah, you just went to me. Man, yo, I'm still in Gameageddon, son. It's so many games came out this first quarter. We had Gravity Rush, Yakuza, Nier, Neo, all this stuff came out. So it's been crazy trying to balance it. This is the first time in my gaming life I had to actually put games on hold to play other games. Like Horizon Zero Dawn came out, so I had to put Gravity Rush on hold. I actually did platinum Horizon. Then after that, I started playing Zelda. Had to put that on hold because Mass Effect, and now I may put Mass Effect on hold because Persona 5 dropped. So right now I'm playing Mass Effect, but yeah, I'm very tempted to crack open that Persona, man. Get in there, This is the best first quarter in history for gaming, man. It's unbelievable.
Nice. I would have to agree,
especially if you're a PlayStation gamer, man.
Oh, that was hot. Oh.
God, we're not even 5 minutes in and he's dropped it. Good man. I like that.
Oh no, I plan to steam off a couple people by the end of the night, man. I guarantee that, But that realness though.
The thing is, man, we are grown men out here. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't really offend grown men when we give our opinions about gaming. It's an opinion. So if you want to counter our opinion, counter it. You know what I'm saying? You got freedom of speech just like we do. So it's all good. So real quick, the games I've been playing this week, man, I've been on that Nier Automata, and I'm just like Tony, man, there's so many games coming out right now. I'm having to pick and choose. I haven't even finished Horizon Zero Dawn. And I put on Twitter, you guys going to have to take away my PlayStation fanboy card because I like Nier better than, Horizon. Nier has literally made Horizon take a back seat. So I'm doing my second playthrough of that. It's
Bro,
like
I got near in shrink wrap. That's how bad it is now.
Really?
Son. Like I want to play it, but these other games came out. But everything I've heard, especially from my cohorts on Throwdown, this is like their game of the year, Nier, you know. So that tells me something right there.
Dog. Nier is a surprise hit. Like it's gonna take you like 3 or 4 playthroughs just to get the full experience. Like I don't really get games like that anymore to where you can play like multiple playthroughs, you know what I'm saying, and it still be fun. So Nier's that game for me, man. And it's not just because of the sexy androids either. I really do like the game. So but that's the main game I've been playing, man. What you been playing, Chris?
Oh man, I tell you, I've hardly played anything this week.
Oh, you are a fraud. Get out of here.
I know, terrible behavior. But man, I've just picked up a new dog, man, and he's been taking up all of my time. But I managed to sneak in a bit of I played the Mafia 3 demo. Really enjoyed what I played of it. I know it's got some bad critics, but you know, sometimes I like quite a simple game where I can just do the same things over and over again. Just, you know, don't have to think about it too hard.
Yeah.
So I picked that up for super cheap. And I've been playing a little bit of another game quite like that, a bit of God of War 3 Remastered, which I picked up in the sales. Gotta love that game. It's good fun.
Nice. Kev, you been playing anything, bro? You frauding?
No, I've been playing Mass Effect. A lot of Mass Effect. It's
my man.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, like so. I know the last show we talked about a lot of the flaws that it has, and it definitely does have those flaws. Like that's still really evident when playing. Like I think I've run into probably 3 or 4 game-breaking bugs that I had to reboot while playing. So, for example, I think there is one portion where I needed to solve a puzzle. I failed the puzzle and had to clear out a wave of enemies in order to retry the puzzle, but then it wouldn't let me go into the console to retry.
What?
So I had to. Did
you straight out there like Vince McMahon? Tell me, out there like Vince McMahon. You're like, I'm not having this video, the power walk, man.
I tried. No, yeah, it was just really. Those parts are really disappointing when it, like, in the grand scheme of things, but you know, it's still giving me like Mass Effect 1 vibes a little bit as I'm playing through.
Definitely.
So I'm willing to put up with the game breaking, like in those, and they break in minor ways. It's not like some ridiculous like glitch that's corrupted my save or anything like that. It's literally like a button prompt doesn't come up, so I need to reboot, and then once I reboot, then the button prompt comes up.
Sometimes go on.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, but I'm really enjoying it. It's really giving me Mass Effect 1 vibes, and I think a lot of the characters are great. And when it hits its mark, it hits its mark. But when it misses, it very clearly misses. So it's along the lines of what we were talking about the last show.
Nice.
It's really interesting you said that, Kev, because I kind of get the same vibes from Mafia 3 as well. When it hits its vibe, it's really good. And the characters, I like some of the characters in Aura. I like the main guy in it, Lincoln Clay. I think he's a bad man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some bugs, some real bad bugs. And one of the worst ones is the enemies say the same things over and over again. Like, you know, we'll get you. And you're like, oh, come on, right? I get the message. You're after me, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes the story can just hold you with these games. You know, sometimes it doesn't have to be the greatest mechanics, but if the story's good, then I can understand that for sure.
Yeah, and again, it's not like this revolutionary story that's being told, but I think, like I said, when it does hit its mark, that's when that's what's keeping me in. Like, I'll find myself like dying with laughter with what somebody said, and that's when I'm like, okay, that's how I know this game has its hooks in me. Versus, you know, the times when it misses its mark, I'm able to overlook that because when it does, it hits it so well.
Nice.
So it's a give or take.
That's good to hear. I think somebody's gonna buy me Mass Effect, so it'll be a game I get to much later. But it's good to hear the good outweighs the bad, though. That's for sure. That's for sure. So we're gonna move on. You know what I'm saying? Because we do got a lot to talk about. Real quick, I want to let all the gamers out there, PlayStation, Xbox, whoever you may be, let you guys know some of the real cool games that have dropped this week on PS4. And I think one of these is like multiplayer as well. But some of the games that have dropped, we have some PS Plus game. It's called Drawn to Death. I played this game. It's a really, really fun game. Don't let the looks fool you. It's an arena style shooter. Really fun, really competitive. So that dropped this week. Also, we got Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. How many of you guys played the original Bulletstorm? Y'all remember that? It was like the
I didn't play that.
You didn't play that? It was like it was made by People Can Fly. People Can Fly in Epic. Yeah, Epic hired them. Basically, like the characters look like Gears of War characters, honestly. But it's like I believe it's like a first-person shooter. Yeah, it was a first-person shooter. It was okay. It wasn't nothing that really stuck. It was I think on Xbox 360. But they got the full clip edition for that. It's like $40. And then we got PyRapper the Rapper Remastered, the original PS1 game that's out. Yes, that is.
Just downloaded it. Downloaded it.
You sound excited.
Oh man, I'm very excited, man. Can I say I'm hard? I'm gonna say I'm hard. I'm excited for that game.
Wow. Okay.
That's my childhood, man. I love that game.
Stop the show. Good night, everybody. This man.
I need a good 5 minutes on my own.
Yeah. Wow.
I'll tell you what, I love that game. And shout out to PlayStation UK on Twitter. They've been doing some unbelievable Parappa the Rapper style rap album covers. You need to check some of them out. I've been retweeting them most of the day, and they're fantastic. They've hit all kind of straight out of Compton album cover style. They did like the Fugees, the score. They did. It's well worth looking up, man. Very cool.
Yeah, I was really into that game. It's a game like I know a lot of people that they're young and everything, but it was a real fun game back in the day. I mean, I recommend anybody trying out if you like musical type of games like that. I mean, it's got some of the freaking best lyrics in hip hop history, period, to this day. So, what I'm saying, definitely check that out. And last but not least, we have the biggin that has released Persona 5, another PlayStation 4 exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute, is this on PS3 as well? Am I lying?
Yeah, it's a PlayStation exclusive.
It's a PlayStation exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, Persona 5, which is getting amazing scores, amazing review scores, you know what I'm saying, which is something to brag on. Honestly, I know people try to downplay review scores, but when you work in journalism like I do, you can't downplay review scores. That's
okay. I work in journalism and I downplay them all the fucking time. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say that. That's what I want.
Good. You good, fam? You good?
Yeah. Look, here's the thing.
Every flipping time.
Yeah, flipping. Yeah. I don't take much stock in review scores myself. I think a lot of people use them for ammo and whatever nonsense fanboy war they got going. And it's like, okay, it's a number. What does a number tell you? A number tells you absolutely nothing. The actual written review is what tells you something.
This is true. That is true. That is very true. And I don't take every single review, as like it's the gospel or anything like that. But there's certain reviewers that I do trust, what I'm saying, their word, means something. But yeah, definitely the content is what matters most, not really, the score per se. But yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of people are feeling it. A lot of reviewers are feeling it. Kev, I know Kev wanted to say something about this game. I don't really play Persona like that because I don't like turn-based games. But Kev, what's going on with this game in particular, sir?
So what I wanted to talk about was that Atlas put out a statement earlier, I believe it was earlier today, about how content creators should be dealing with management of their time in terms of pushing out content toward about Persona. Specifically that, there are certain time limits that they have to have, like you can't show certain cutscenes or you can't show certain fragments of the game, and you can only record up to, I think it was 20 hours into the game. They gave like an arbitrary like story point as a reference point, but from what folks have been saying, it averages out to about 20 hours into the game. And they've also cut the ability to stream natively through the PlayStation 4. So you can't see, or you can't stream from the PlayStation 4, although if you have a capture card, obviously you can circumvent that. But then, then those other provisions kick in and they say, that if you do violate any of those stipulations, then what they'll ultimately do is, either flag your channel or put a copyright strike or whatever it is against your channel, whether it's your Twitch channel or your YouTube channel. Although I think the penalty is stronger on the YouTube side because I think they have the relationship. Quite frankly.
That's the type of crap I don't like, because a lot of the Japanese games, they do that. And my problem with that is like extremely stifling to a content creator, especially like a PlayStation content creator, because like you can't even like use the share button, which is a prominent feature on the PlayStation for, people who don't have Elgatos and things like that to record gameplay. And I just don't understand why those developers, they want to like hide the content away like that. I understand protecting the story and stuff, but still, like, I don't understand why they go to that extent. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of Japanese games do that. Tales of Berseria does it. A few others do it. And I hate that crap, man. It's like, for a content creator, it just sucks. It just sucks for me.
Right. And like, I definitely understand on the content creator side. I guess I can kind of see on the other side too, in terms of the developer end. I mean, they've taken how many years to develop this game? They know their fans have been waiting however long to play this game, so they don't want the story to be ruined. However, what I will say is I do think it's a bit of an age rule. I don't think that's nearly as, if that rule is relevant anymore, especially with the rise of streaming, let's plays, whatever the variety of content is, because chances are, if you're online searching for that content, you understand that you are going to get some aspect of the story ruined if you were clicking on said link. That's just common sense. I can realize, I can understand why that would have been a practice even 2-3 years ago, when streaming wasn't nearly as prevalent, and when, while people were doing let's plays, it wasn't as accessible to do that as it is now. So I totally understand from a developer standpoint, but I also think it's a really aged practice that is pretty much counterintuitive at this part. So, that's just how I feel about it. But
yeah, I feel you. So let's move on, because we got to get into the meat and potatoes of this show. I'm saying the people are demanding it. They want it, man. So real quick, couple of announcements, some good things, which people were hating on me for announcing this today. I just want to say, but Nier Automata, it shipped 1 million copies today, which is definitely a good thing for a game like that. Like, I really wasn't expecting, a game like that to, ship/sell, whatever, so quickly, that many copies. So that's definitely a good thing. And like, when I announced that, like on Twitter, like I had people coming at me like, oh, so now ship sales matter? Like, what if it only sold 200,000? Like, why y'all excited for that? Like, people were just throwing all types of salt at me just for being hyped for, the success of a game that I actually like.
Look, let's just be honest what's going on here, right? These guys are salty that they can't play Nier on their system, so they have to lash out. Let's just be honest here. These guys are so pathetic. I swear. Like, obviously, PlayStation has had a ton of exclusives here, so the salt just keeps piling and piling and piling and piling, and they're just getting rabid. Even when Persona was getting all those high scores, oh, it's not a real PlayStation exclusive. Shut the hell up. You guys are being so dumb. I swear, Hey, guess what? Nier Automata shipped 1 million. Did Halo Wars 2 did that? I don't think so. Come on now. This is nonsense.
Yeah, Doc, why is that though? Like, why do people get like so like angry? I mean, it's a video game. Like, why do you get so angry? Like, I'm excited for a video game that I love doing well. Like, and I'm not throwing no salt anywhere. I'm not mentioning any other platform or anything. But why do people have to jump in? You know what I'm saying? Into the conversation.
It's this tribalism nonsense that's going on. Basically, they chose a side and they need to stick to it. But also there's insecurity too, because here's the thing now, and this is going on in all society, right? Basically, when you tell somebody that, hey, your system isn't selling well. What they hear is you are stupid for buying that system. You're a dumb person. That's what they hear. They take this stuff really, really personal. So when they see, the success of the quote unquote enemy, they take it really personal. This is how dumb the fanboy wars have become, man. It's ridiculous. And, I said this on Throwdown, and I'm going to say it here again, right? Both systems, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, are $250 each, right? You're telling me you can't afford both of them at this point? That I don't take that as an excuse anymore. If you're the same guy that bought an Xbox One on launch day at $500, you could afford another system. I'm just saying, So if you really want to stop with this fanboy shit, I'm sorry again. I just had to keep it honest.
Yeah, no, you good.
Just get all the consoles and stop the nonsense. Enjoy everything. It's stupid.
Right.
Amen to that. Amen to that, mate.
No, I ultimately agree with that too. I think the fanboy mentality is a very toxic one. And I mean, like you said, either stay content with your choice and purchase or go and buy the other system if you're that jealous. But ultimately, sitting there and sulking because of the success of a game doesn't do anybody any favors.
Right. I'm laughing at the chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that dude Famous acting really dumb right now. I'm just being honest right now. Like I know he's your boy, so I'm assuming he's just trolling you. But like if that was my chat room, he would have got the boot.
Nah, man. Freedom of speech, man. I love it. I love it. I see. That's the thing, though. I love this stuff, man. Like I love the back and forth. I'm from the old school, like Nintendo versus Sega. Like I used to live down the street from a guy who was a hardcore Nintendo fan. I was a Sega fan, and like we would meet up and just go at it with each other, and we'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just fun to me. You know what I'm saying? So
here's the difference, though, right? Back in the day, because I used to be part of that too. But I did own both, right? But I was more of a Sega guy, right? We would talk smack about each other's consoles, right? But then what would we do at the end of the day? Go to each other's houses and play the games. But now the mentality is like these guys won't even touch an Xbox. They won't even touch a PlayStation. They like it's like a religion to them. But back in the day, real gamers didn't care about that.
Yeah. That's true, because I used to go over by his my boy house and I'd be playing like Street Fighter because it looked better on Nintendo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I go by his house and play Street Fighter, whatever. Still crack jokes or whatever. But I'd be over there playing for hours on his Nintendo. He come to my house. You know what I'm saying? We play like Sega. We play freaking Streets of Rage on Genesis. We play freaking Sonic. You know what I'm saying? He cracked jokes about Genesis, but we still out there, you know what I'm saying, playing, having fun. So yeah, you're right. I mean, and the reason why it's gotten like that is because of the internet. People are real bold and savvy, saying over the internet. But in real life, it wouldn't even go down like that. People are more cordial in real life. Trust me. So let's move on. Another announcement real quick for PS4 gamers. Jak and Daxter PS2 classics are coming to PS4. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how many times they're going to bring out Jak and Daxter, you heard me, but it's back again. But yeah, I mean, I played only like, some of the first one and stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to pick this up or not. You guys, what do y'all think? Y'all going to pick this up or not?
I got to say this, though. I got to pick on the ponies now, right? Because Sony guys, they always like to make fun of Microsoft guys because all the games they get hyped about are backwards compatible, right? Mm-hmm. Now you get Jak and Daxter and they're all hyped. I'm like, you guys are acting the same way the bots do with the stupid backwards compatible games. It's the same thing. You guys are stupid right now,
and they've got to pay for it as well. They got to pay for the privilege.
Yeah, they're gonna pay for it and all that. Yeah. Like, come on, man, you guys are looking even like dumber than the Xbox guys. At least they get them for free most of the time,
Yeah, and this thing gonna be probably $20 for all. Well, hopefully, I don't know. It's all of them. It's like 4. It's like all 3 main games and then the racing game. So it might be 20, if not more. Hopefully, it's no more than 20.
I don't know, man. I can't co-sign on this stuff. Like the PS2 classics or whatever. I'm like, nah, I'm good, fam. Like, give me a remaster. Like, don't give me this stuff.
So
I'd be willing to bet this thing is going to be $40.
Nah, no, no way. That's it can't be that.
I'm willing to bet that.
So what is it? Is it just like vouchers for each game? Like how does that work? I don't know. Either way, I'm not interested. Whatever. I don't care.
I think it's just on the
the
PS2 classics section.
Yeah. But they would have to be separate games. That's what I'm saying.
They might.
Okay, I was thinking if they were selling it in like a collection, like a physical collection. then I could see why it would be like 40. But if it's being sold like piecemeal,
still they need to make it remastered, man. They can't just churn out the old stuff and expect to charge.
They already remastered it. They've already remastered this game on PS3, right? Like I literally have all those games right now on PS3, but my wife has confiscated it, so I can't play it. You know, so and of course, you know, PS4 is not backwards compatible, so I can't play it with PS4. So, and I'm damn sure not going to play if it is even on PS now. I'm damn sure not using that crap. So you know, I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up or not. I honestly don't have time to play it anyway, but I wouldn't mind, man. I wouldn't mind playing it. So I might have to, you know, trade PS systems with my wife and play it on PS3 since I bought it already. But moving on real quick, Spider-Man PS4. There was a rumor that hit where it stated that it's going to come out this year. But that rumor was quickly debunked by Insomniac. They basically issued a statement saying that is no release date has been confirmed. So what do you guys think the chances of Spider-Man actually dropping this year, in spite of what Insomniac says? Because we know devs, they try to throw you off. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell you the truth. So, you know, is there a chance that this game's coming this year? What do y'all think? Tony, what you think?
Yeah, okay. I'm of two minds, right? Okay, first, I want to say I don't think they should release it this year, because as this year has proven, Sony has all quarter one to itself. Like what comes out in the fall? You get your Call of Duties and Madden and all that other stuff, right? These games eat away at, like, you know, whatchamacallit, at first parties, right? So it would be smart for Sony to just drop that in quarter and just have it. Look, we had Horizon, we had all these other games, you know, making bank in the first quarter because there's no competition. So that would be a smart move. But at the same time, because we know Scorpio is coming, right? Tell me that wouldn't be a badass, you know, game to have. Like, hey, Scorpio's out. That's cool. Here's the PlayStation 4 Pro for $300 bundled with Spider-Man. Oh man, they would kill it, son.
Oh my god!
Especially with the film coming out as well, the new the Homecoming film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's gonna be
like I would advise them to wait until spring, but at the same time, if they drop it this fall, that could really kill the Scorpio's momentum. So that could be a smart move too.
I don't think it's going to drop this fall, because I think God of War is dropping this fall. I think that I've been saying this for a minute, because I think that they're pretty much done with God of War, and I think they're going to announce like the release date at E3, and I think that's coming this fall. So I don't think that Spider-Man's coming this year at all. I think Spider-Man is like kind of far off. I think it's coming out like 2018, but that would be a hell of a bomb. I mean, God of War in itself would be a hell of a bomb. I mean, there's a lot of games that could pretty much drop the mic out here on the PlayStation side, but I don't think it's dropping this year. Kev, what you think? Is this thing coming or not?
I don't think it is, and I actually completely agree with you. I think God of War is much further along in its dev cycle. I mean, we saw that from the trailer or the demo at E3 last year, and they couldn't even say anything about Spider-Man at that point last year. I mean, other than throw a picture of Spider-Man going through the city. Like, that's all they showed last year. So I would imagine they're still not as far in their dev cycle as they would like to be able to release this year. I have a feeling maybe they were planning on it, and it's probably going to get pushed back to 2018. And I think God of War is most likely going to come out end of this year. Either that, or I know we also have Detroit Become Human. I think that's supposed to be the end of this year. So one of those.
Oh, I forgot about that game. Yo, yeah. I forgot about Detroit Become Human. Mm-hmm. Damn, dog, if that comes out this year.
I'm pretty sure Detroit is going to be out this year. Like, they're pretty far in that dev cycle.
Wow. That'd be dope, man. Yo, British Beef, this thing coming out this year or not?
Probably not. I reckon it would be a good shout for like January, February next year. I don't know if they'll be able to push for that timeline, but I think that's quite a quiet time of year for games. So something like Spider-Man dropping, a bit like what they did with Horizon, I think would be a good shout for it. But I'm surprised that they're not trying to line it up with the Homecoming film, where the hype is high for Spider-Man. But it's always high for Spider-Man. But, you know, to go and line it out, I think that would have been good. But I think then also it could have had its cons as well, because people will go, "Oh, is this part of this? Is this a movie tie-in game?" Which never go down well.
Which people, you do not want to associate this game with a movie tie-in game.
I think that's maybe what Insomniac.
Yeah, bro. You don't want that. You don't want that.
You don't want that at all. I mean, you want that hype of the Spider-Man thing, but you want it to be fairly clear of the film. Because
I'm crossing my fingers that this game will be nothing like the movie. Not to say the movie's gonna be bad, but I hope it's nowhere near inspired by the movie to any effect.
You want it to be like Arkham games. That's what you want. You want a Spider-Man game that is going to be the equivalent of the Arkham games.
That'd be dope.
That would be phenomenal. If they can pull that off, then it would be unbelievable.
Yeah, I can be with that. I mean, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Honestly, a lot of Spider-Man games have disappointed me over the years because, like, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I will try almost every Spider-Man game. Y'all real quick, y'all remember Maximum Carnage back in the day? Like, who's old as me?
Yeah. I remember that. Man, old school. Yeah.
Oh man, that thing was lit, dog. That thing was lit, man. You don't get like too many Spider-Man games like that anymore, man. They had a few like here and there, like Spider-Man 2 is a classic. You know what I'm saying? On I think it was on PS2.
Yeah, that game right there, man. Oh, son. Like, here's the thing. That game, like, objectively speaking, it wasn't great, right? But at the time, like, swinging around the city as Spider-Man in an open world, that was like the first time you ever did that. It was unreal, man. Crazy game, son.
Man, yeah. I hope it brings that, magic back. You know what I'm saying? I hope it really does, man, because I need a Spider-Man game like that in my life once again. There's not too many memorable ones, but I got high hopes. This is Insomniac, you know what I'm saying? So I know, they know what they're doing. They got a history of making like great games, from big to small games, you know what I'm saying, from Ratchet and Clank games to, Sunset Overdrive. I hear that's really good as well. So, so let's move on to the main topics of today's show. I want to ask the question, ladies and gentlemen, PS Plus games. Okay, so PS Plus games have been released. They're released every month. And every month, PS Plus games get the most enormous amount of hate like ever. Like, when you look at their YouTube channel, dog, it's sitting like, I checked yesterday, it's sitting at like 15,000 dislikes compared to 2,000 likes. And it's like every single month. So I want to ask the panel this question. Is this much hate like valid? Or is this just like a bunch of sheep just riding the hate train? You know what I'm saying? So
no, man, it's perfectly valid. We've been getting nothing but trash like almost 2 years, bro. Let's just be honest. The last time PSN like had good games on PS Plus was when they announced they were jacking up the price to $60. They did give you good games for that 1 month, and that's it. Back in the PS3 era, it was a different story. You got great games every month. Every single month. But with the PS4, nothing. And I'm thinking it's because they don't need to put out dope games because they already got your money. They already have like 55 million install base. They don't really need to be enticing more people. But at the same time, for the guys who are paying $60 for this every month, it's kind of nonsense, man. So all the reactions you're hearing, they're all justified for sure.
You think they're 100% justified? I think it's like half and half. I mean, I think that some months, yes, it's been absolutely complete trash. I agree. Like, I'm the king of indies, and you know what I'm saying? I love indie games, and a game is a game to me as long as it's good. But even I gotta say, a lot of these months, the indie games have been complete trash. Like, you can't even pick. I don't have a problem with indie games like being free. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But you can't even pick like quality indie games to give us. That's my problem with Sony right now. And then also another thing is, we talked about this, I think, like last podcast, but I think that they're kind of like holding some games hostage for, PS Now. You know what I'm saying? I think they're holding some games hostage, which I think that's just terribly wrong. I think that's horrible on Sony's part to be doing that.
Think about it like this. I'm sorry to cut you off, but think about it like this.
You're good.
We haven't had Killzone or Knack, right? Never got them on PS Plus. What are they on? They're on PS Now. Ain't that something?
That is a biatch.
I agree with you on that one, bro. By the way, I'm not saying those games are particularly. I actually sold those. Here's the thing about me. I don't sell my games when I buy them. I sold those joints mad fast. Trash games, right? But at the same time, they're PlayStation like exclusives that came out on launch day. They should be on PlayStation Plus. But nope. I think you're right. They held them hostage for PS Now. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, so, and they're getting they don't care. Look, they don't care about all the dislikes you get or whatever, because I always tell people this: money talks. So people on the internet, he can do whatever they want or whatever, but as long as we are all paying for the service, you know what I'm saying, and it's selling really well, they're going to continue to do what they do. Like they had Vote to Play, you know, that was pretty cool. Where's that? You know, it's like they just stopped trying with that service altogether, in my opinion, and I think that's really bad on Sony's part. Now this month right here, I think the amount of dislikes is kind of like unwarranted, honestly, because I think Drawn to Death is a good game, but that's based on my experience because I play like the alpha of it, and it's really fun. And I think people are just kind of judging that just solely based on looks. And I think that the hate for PS Plus carries over every month, really, no matter what. And so I think, you know, at this point, you know, games like Drawn to Death are going to get a dislike just off the strength of we hate PS Plus games. You know what I'm saying? Kev, what do you think, man? Is this hate like warranted? Do you agree with Tony? Do you agree with my half-assed opinion? You know, what do you think, man?
I mean, I definitely think it's warranted. I mean, we haven't gotten, I don't think we've gotten like anything truly substantive from them. Like there hasn't been like a Rocket League that's come out in a really long time on PlayStation Plus. And I don't think Drawn to Death is that. I think Drawn to Death is probably a great game. However, they didn't do a good job at marketing it to begin with. I don't think people even know what it is.
It was free to play at first, and then they decided to change the model, and now it's like $20.
Right, and I think that's all part of the problem. I think because it started off as a free-to-play game, they weren't marketing it the way that they should have been. And when they did the switch to it, they didn't switch their marketing angle. So I don't think people really even know what it is. And I'm sure they're just regarding it as another
trash ass game.
Yeah. So, you know, they certainly do deserve it because I think Tony's absolutely right. Like they've got our money, and they're outselling their competitor 2-1. So what's the impetus to have to give out a quality title every single month? If you disperse that out every few months, throw in a all right title here and there, you'll quell the beast enough that, you know, you'll be able to skate through.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Xbox fans, we're talking bad about PlayStation right now. See, we're not biased. And also real quick to the chat, everybody, thanks so much for joining. Appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? We do acknowledge you. We do appreciate you. Hit that like button for me. We really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? We don't ask for your money or anything like that. We're not in that position, you know what I'm saying? But we do ask for those likes and subscribe to this channel. You know what I'm saying? British Beef, what do you think, man? Is this hate warranted or not? You picking up Drawn to Death today or not?
Yeah, man, I'll pick it up. I'll give it a go just because what you guys have said about it, that it's been really good. I think it doesn't help that Xbox have dropped Rise this month because people are looking at Rise thinking we should be dropping games like that. You know, I know that Tony's mentioned like Knack and Killzone, and it's those, you know, we're thinking we need those games on Plus, and then Xbox is dropping games like Rise, which are like the first, you know, one of the first games to release for the Xbox. I think it doesn't, you know, it's not helping it, but it needs to do better. And I know Kev mentioned Rocket League. I think Rocket League, while it was fantastic and brilliant,
Rocket League was a freaking gem.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it also was, I've said this before, I think it was also a big problem for them because I think that what happened was that game was so successful, they thought we need another one of those hits. We can get away with this. So they've been chucking on games like, was it Disc Jam last month? And that they're hoping, you know, they've got Drawn to Death this month. They're hoping for another Rocket League. And that's what they're going with at the moment. That's what it feels like to me. That's what they're trying to do.
That's an interesting perspective. You know, I think that's a horrible way. If somebody's looking at it like that, I think that's a horrible way to look at it. Because like we touched on before, they do have, you know, quality, you know, exclusives and things like that they can easily just throw out there. I think it's more sinister. I don't think there's much like hope in something like that, like you're saying. I personally don't think. I think it's just more sinister and it's lazy, honestly, on their part. So, yeah, I mean, overall, This month I'm half and half on it. There's the other game that's dropped on PS Plus is Lovers, some trash ass game, man. And I'm the king of the indies, and that thing looks garbage. Like I got it free on Xbox. They sound like
garbage, bro. Listen to this,
dog. It's called Lovers in Space or some crap, dog.
Like with that nonsense.
I know, dog. I'm like, I got that free on Xbox One. I got it free on Xbox One, and I never touched it. That's how bad it looks. It looks dumb as hell, man. So. Yeah, Uncle Shu, if you're listening to this podcast, which I know you are, because we are the most popular PlayStation podcast on the planet. I know you're listening. Just step the game up, please, sir, Uncle Shu. So any more thoughts on PS Plus before we move on to the meat and potatoes?
Trash.
Pass the trash. We saying trash.
Let's have the main course, mate. Let's skip that big time.
But I do recommend you guys trying Drawn to Death. If you like competitive arena shooters, try it. You're gonna like it, trust me. So we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes, everybody. We are PlayStation gamers who are gonna talk about Xbox Scorpio. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna talk about Xbox Scorpio. We will have nothing but nice and warm and fuzzy things to say about the Scorpio, so you know what I'm saying, you can sit tight in your seat and get ready for all of this love that's going to come your way pretty soon. But before we get to that, my man Tony, he has a show called Tony's Take on the Throwdown, which is actually pretty informative and pretty freaking funny, honestly. He was talking about recently the Destiny exclusive content outrage. So in case you guys don't know, Destiny 2 has been announced, and once again, PlayStation gamers are going to get exclusive content for a whole year, just like last time. Nothing new, nothing different. So Tony did a take on this. So I want him to share his thoughts on this podcast of this outrage that has occurred on Twitter and social media and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Look, like I said in my video, the outrage is stupid. It's like we've had these kind of deals before, right? And I love the fact that the same guy is crying about how, they're getting it a year before us, right? Where were you crying about Rise of the Tomb Raider being on Xbox for a year, right? Where were you crying about Dead Rising? That ain't on, Dead Rising 4 still ain't on PlayStation 4. Where were you guys when Mass Effect was on Xbox 360 for years? Did you guys where were you guys when Dead Rising 1 just came out on PlayStation 4 last year? These guys weren't saying nothing back then, were they? It was perfectly fine. Again, it's this double standard stuff. It's like, if it happens on Xbox, it's fine, but it happens on PlayStation, then it's no, exclusives are bad. What about last generation? Call of Duty, right? Who got that content first?
Oh yeah. That's the biggest thing. Xbox
Come on, man.
always had it. It was like everybody was used to that. Like that was the thing. Like when it switched from Xbox to PlayStation, even we were shocked. Like we were like, I was like, this don't even feel right. Like this should be like exclusive content for Xbox still. Like this don't even feel right, So yeah, no, I mean,
yeah. So that's my take on it. It's really, really stupid. It's like, but it goes back to what I was saying before. If you don't want to be stuck into one of these situations, get yourself both systems. Then you won't be missing out, And let's just be honest, more people are playing on PlayStation anyway. Just get your buddies on there. Come on, man. It's stupid, And then, it's funny because now everyone's crying about, it's anti-consumer. Again, I didn't hear these anti-consumer cries when Xbox was having all these exclusive deals. Isn't that ironic, But yeah, I don't really see this as a big deal. But just, for the sake of full disclosure, I'm not a Destiny fan. I played the first game for like a solid month when it came out. I thought it was dope, and then I realized, wait, it's just an endless grind. This game kind of sucks. Yeah. So I'm not invested with Destiny 2. They don't have me at all. I'm not invested. And remember, I could play it on PlayStation if I want. I'm not even gonna buy unless a company sent it to me for a review. I'm not touching this game, bro. But yeah, it happens all the time. I don't know why you guys are crying. Just get both systems and you won't be stuck in that, situation.
Yeah, Destiny. I was really, really into the first Destiny at first. I mean, I literally wasted 5 months of my life. That's all I played when Destiny first dropped was like that game. And I missed like so many games. Like to this day, I haven't even played Shadow of Mordor and stuff because of freaking Destiny. And I got to the point, I was like, dog, like seriously, Destiny ruined.
Dude, get off this podcast and go and play that game.
Oh, I have it downloaded. It was like $10. It's in my backlog. I have it downloaded. I just haven't got a chance to get back to it. But Destiny, blame Destiny. #blame Destiny. because I was like addicted. Like they got, I ain't gonna lie, they got a model that's very, very addictive. But I agree with Tony. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon this time because at the end of the day, it was not worth it. I didn't get anything out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just a waste of time at the end of the day. So, you know, real quick, I wanted to get you guys' opinion really on this anti-consumer thing, because timed exclusive content, even just full-on exclusives, gets the anti-consumer stamp, you know, honestly. And so Kev's really, really smart. You know what I'm saying? So Kev, is this, in your humble yet often correct opinion, Kev, is this anti-consumerism at its finest, sir?
So I have two minds of this. I do think it's an anti-consumer mindset in terms of, you know, folks who only have one system are not able to enjoy the benefits of the full game experience. However, that's also the cost of doing business, so I don't feel bad. Like, I understand where the anti-consumer mentality comes from, but also, again, at the end of the day, these game companies are not your friend. They're running a business. They're running an organization. They're running something that's going to get them the most money. And if they know that they have a larger player base on Sony's console, then they're going to work out a deal to solidify that relationship.
But that'll make it right, though. Right?
That depends on what you're considering right, I guess. I think from a business perspective, absolutely, that's the smartest thing they could do. And why wouldn't they? If I were in that position, I would do the same thing as a development company. For the consumer, you kind of have a choice then, right? You have the choice to either go out and buy that alternative console, or, again, I understand that sucks, like, but you're going to have to suck it up. It's the same way, like we mentioned, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, I didn't play Rise of the Tomb Raider, but you also didn't hear me complaining about it when PlayStation didn't have access to it for a year. You know what I mean? So it's you have to fight your battles and know which ones to sit yourself out of. I understand that it's anti-consumer, but at the end of the day, they're an organization, they're a business, and this is the cost of doing business to provide content to their fan base.
Here's my thing. I feel like it is an anti-consumer practice ultimately, but here's the thing. We as consumers, we ultimately have the power. Like I was saying before, you speak with your pocketbooks, right? So if this game was hugely successful on the PS4, Destiny 1, right? If it was hugely successful following this model, and they made buku money on the PlayStation side, they still made money on the Xbox side. As much as people complain, they still made money. People were still playing it. So what makes you think they're going to change it around this time? So at the end of the day, the consumers have to speak with their pocketbooks, right? So if you're upset about this, you know, you don't buy the freaking game. And that will train the publishers to do different. You know,
well, that or buy it on the system that you want. Because I can guarantee you, if there were more players on Xbox than there were on PlayStation, there may have been a swap in that deal.
Oh,
it's the same reason why. That's the Call of Duty argument, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they swapped, and it's partly because PlayStation had a larger install base.
Yeah, that's true.
They get more money. So
at the end of the day, it is all about the money. Definitely. British B, what do you think, man? Is this an anti-consumer practice, man?
I'm gonna buy Destiny 2.
this man started off with
I don't really care. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna buy it on PlayStation. I'm gonna buy probably all the fancy dance singing version of it all. And I'm gonna get my multicolored helmet and multicolored armor and my extra free little mission for the first year or however long it is, 18 months. I'm going to be happy as Larry. And what other people do, that's up to them. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, it's not going to be a lot different. I mean, you're going to get the whole core game there. I don't think even if you get it on Xbox, you're going to be disappointed. You know, I think if you love Destiny, I think
they're going to chop and screw this thing just like the first one.
Oh, mate, it's going to be, no, it's going to be like,
it's going to be a choppy mess.
I can see it being like, you know, when they brought out Arkham Knight and they just had like some, like, I don't know, like Batgirl mission or something like that. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, fair enough. I could probably live without that. You know, they'll probably do something light like that just to kind of not rub up Xbox fans too much because they want to sell that game on that system. If they didn't want to sell that game on that system, they'd make it an exclusive to PlayStation ultimately. So they don't, you know, while it's anti-consumer, they're not going to make it a massive difference. It's just a little extra shine for being a PlayStation owner. And I think if people don't like it, then well, that's the way of the world. Deal with it, you know. It's that sort of
I think
go play Kitty Powers.
If y'all like, go play Kitty Powers.
I think that's a really important note, though. Like, this is not an egregious example of, you know, exclusivity. I mean, if you're basing it off of past Destiny content, specifically in the context of Destiny, it's 1 or 2 weapons and a mission, or and a multiplayer map.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be tiny. It's going to be one of those things. Like I said, they're not going to want to annoy Xbox owners anymore, so it's not going to be a massive difference. I'm just going to probably get a shiny bit of armor that says PlayStation written across the side of it, or something like that. You know, it's not the end of the world, people. Come on, it's you know, it's just a bit of extra digital tat probably you're going to add on to the game. You know, I think you'll buy whatever system you're on. If you love Destiny, then you'll buy whatever system you've got. Really, at the end of the day, I bought it on both because I'm a complete loser.
Oh yeah, you suck.
Yeah, man, I am the problem right here.
You are a part of the problem. You're one of
I am.
I can't stand.
I bring the rain when it comes to being a problem because I buy games on both consoles, the same game. I'm such a loser. Wow. I think I own Shadow of Mordor 3 times.
Damn, this man is a real gamer right there, man.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. If I've got friends playing on like PlayStation, if I've got friends playing on Xbox, then I have to split it. You know, at the end of the day, that's how it is. I got some guys that will be on. They'll be like, "Oh, I'll be on Xbox in 10 minutes," and I've got some people that'll be like, "I'll be on PlayStation later, man."
See, Chris, what you guys need to understand, everybody out there listening at the sound of my voice, Chris is the logical one of the group. Like, I can get like quote unquote. I can get it. No, Kevin is the brain.
Kevin's the smart one.
Kevin's the brain of operation. You're the logical one, and I'm the
seriously, Nick. If
I'm the quote unquote fanboy, dog. Like I don't know. I don't see how I got that title, honestly. What?
Nick, man, if my wife heard you say that I was logical, she would die of laughter. Honestly, we nickname ourselves Spock and Kirk, and I'll let you figure out who's Spock and who is Kirk, man. I am not Spock, not by a long way, man. I am the reckless, crazy one. So
when it comes to gaming, dog, you're logical. Like Chris is that guy that keeps like me pretty much like in check to a degree.
It's 7 minutes to 2 o'clock in the morning in my time, so I'm only logical because I'm tired.
Oh damn!
It's basically because of that.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. We have a whole other hour to go. So yeah, let's keep this thing rolling right quick. Ultimately, real quick, let me ask you guys: do you guys think Destiny 2 is coming to PC? Did they announce that?
Oh yeah, no, that's not a thing. They announced it already. Yeah, that's confirmed.
Yeah. Okay, because a lot of the anti-consumer talk comes from PC games.
Damn, man, I'm gonna buy 3 copies of that now.
Yeah,
you got a PC too?
Yeah, boy. Come on, man.
And you are real.
That's a true gamer. That's what I'm telling you, people, man.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So, my man, you got to switch. You got to switch.
Nah, no switch. I've got a Wii U.
That's the only one you missed. All right.
I got a Wii U. So
you can still play Zelda. You're good.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you are a real gamer. So all the real gamers are in Britain, I guess. That's what's up. So
actually, just to be fair, I got all 4. So.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got a gaming PC, I got an Xbox, I got a Switch, I got a PlayStation 4.
Well, Tony, why do you make so many people mad though, bro? If you got all the systems.
Listen, because I was about to say curse. I keep it real, and they don't like hearing the truth. That's what it is. Because here's the funny thing: I say as much bad stuff about PlayStation as I do about Xbox, but nobody ever says anything when I do that. Yeah, when I say any little thing about Xbox, brah, they their minds, you know, which lets me know which fan base is the more sensitive of the two.
Yeah, it didn't used to be like that last generation. When the tides turn, the sensitivity turns up.
Isn't that interesting? Because PlayStation 3 owners were pretty sensitive last gen.
Yeah, they were. They were. Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. But yeah, man, no, man, dude, I'm, and now that I'm writing for gaming and I could afford it, like, I don't want to be left out of the dust because I was there last generation. I only had a PS3. I missed out on some cool, 360 games, right? So I'm like, I'm not going to be in that position ever again. Yo, I just played Gears of War, right? Everything except Judgment for the first time last year. I love those games, bro.
Gears of War is the living truth.
Gears of War is, what?
It's like the best third-person shooter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, now the only thing I need to play is Halo, and I'll be set with every Microsoft exclusive I wanted to play, But I don't want to be that guy left out in the dust, like crying about, oh, my system doesn't have any games. Okay, how do you solve that? Just get every system and you can play every game. It's simple. And now, like I said, these systems are cheap. You don't have an excuse anymore, man.
Right. And I got I'm a huge Gears fan, so I got Xbox One for Gears and Halo 5, what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for them to drop more exclusives so I can play it. But yeah, I did the same thing. No shots, just saying.
I tell you what, man, I'm same boat as you guys, man. I bought my Xbox One for Gears, but I'm a big gearhead as well, man. I love my Forza games. And for me, there's no Gran Turismo, so I'm like that. So Forza has been filling that void very well for me, man. And Forza Horizon 3 was a great game. Credit to it, man. It's quality.
So speaking of Xbox, because we are PlayStation gamers who love Xbox, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, hashtag go Xbox. So we're going to talk and wrap this thing up with the final discussion of the night. So Xbox Scorpio, man. Xbox Scorpio, there's been a lot of rumors, discussion about it. And
wait, hold up. I got to stop you right now, right? This is a PlayStation podcast. Why the hell are we talking about Xbox? Like, you guys have other podcasts on that are nothing but Xbox. You guys bleed green, and now we're talking about Xbox on the PlayStation. What's up with that, bro? What's up with that?
I got a logical reason. A lot of people are asking this. I got a logical reason. It's because Xbox is PlayStation's biggest competition, right? So when I say things like PlayStation has no competition and stuff, people get mad. But when I include Xbox in the PlayStation discussion because I'm giving reverence and respect to it, people get mad. So I can't make anybody happy.
You can't win, son.
I can't win. So this is the reason, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great question from Tony. The reason why is because, yes, this is PlayStation's biggest competition. They got something really big in store for all gamers this week. So we want to touch on and give our thoughts on it as PlayStation gamers because we have Xboxes, right? I got an Xbox in the living room. I watch it for Netflix only right now. But hey, I have an Xbox in the living room. So, I want to talk about Xbox tonight. So that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, that should be the name of another show you guys have, Xbox Tonight.
late night with Xbox. Under the sheets.
Just you and Connect, snuggling.
Under the sheets.
Watching them Major Nelson videos. Oh, Major.
Major.
Oh, God. All right,
Can we move on, please? What are you going to say, please, man? I don't want to think about Major Nelson.
It's getting too hot in here for you.
Man, I need my Parappa the Rapper.
So I'm gonna let the British beef because, like I said, he's a sensible one, and he's gonna lead like this discussion or whatever like that. And basically, what's going on with this Xbox Scorpio, man? I know Digital Foundry is gonna announce it and give some details this Thursday and things like that. But what's going on with the Scorpio?
By the sounds of it, Digital Foundry are doing a thing with Eurogamer on this Thursday, 2 p.m. UK time and 6 a.m. Pacific time. They're going to announce details of the Scorpio. I'm pretty much guessing that it's just going to be specs. I think, Tony, you feel the same way about that. It's going to just be specs, and all we're going to know is what's under the hood. The interesting thing is they're not doing this via a press conference. I think that's quite surprising. I don't know whether they looked at, say, like the Sony press conference and thought that didn't go down too well. Maybe if we try it this way with Digital Foundry, who are becoming more and more popular with their kind of tech opinions. And obviously they're pushing for that 4K. So they want to be able to kind of get the kind of tech guys behind them for it. But like I said, it's quite interesting that it's not a press conference. What I want to ask the rest of you guys is, were they pushed or did they jump? Microsoft, this is to do this.
That is the question right there. Okay, this is what he's referencing. Basically, after it was revealed that Eurogamer would be doing this exclusively, right? And this is just a rumor right now, so please don't take this as fact. The rumor going around is that basically Eurogamer got themselves either like a pre-version, like an early version of the Xbox, or some documents, whatever it was. They had information about the Xbox Scorpio that was only on a system that was only 80% finished, right? And they apparently didn't have a very favorable view of what they played, right? So Xbox caught wind of this, Microsoft caught wind of this, and they were like, no, you can't publish that. That's not finished information. Here you go. Here's the Scorpio. We're going to give you this exclusively if you don't publish that story.
Damn.
So I mean, again, we can't say this is what actually happened. It's just a rumor right now. Please keep that in mind. But at the same time, it would make some sense, right? Because why would Microsoft just go to Digital Foundry like this? I understand that Digital Foundry is the biggest comparison site out there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just feels very weird, you know? And just like you said, we were all expecting an event. No, it's just a couple of videos from Digital Foundry. So me personally, I'm inclined to believe the rumor, but I'm not going to say it is the truth because we don't know yet. But it would explain some certain things. But yeah, as for what we're going to see this Thursday, you know, yeah, this is Digital Foundry, right? Specs. We're gonna get specs. We're gonna get comparison videos. I don't know what games you're gonna compare, but we're gonna get comparison videos. We are not gonna get a price. We're probably not even gonna get the official name of this thing yet. I predict all of that will be for E3 and launch day. You're not gonna get that this week either. Just specs.
That makes sense.
It'd be interesting to see whether they put together a dummy unit, whether they've got an actual dev kit unit with them, or whether they've got like a dummy unit where Digital Foundry have said, okay, these are the specs, we've made this PC to match.
I don't know about that. It seems because like from I heard, this is kind of corroborated that it's a joint venture, right? So I'm assuming Microsoft gave them the actual real deal, you know, to work with, as opposed to whatever mock-up they were talking about previously.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see whether they do have the actual kind of, you know, the kind of covered in zebra looking device where you can't actually tell what it looks like, but they've got this thing that they're running the games off. It'll be interesting whether they touch games that are exclusive. So like if they've got like the Forza game, or whether they've got something different. So something like, say, as we've said it so many times tonight, Shadow of Mordor. Something like that, where they've picked a game that's kind of up-resed, and they can kind of almost compare it to the Pro as well, which I think is where we all kind of come in. Where are they gonna put Pro next to Scorpio, or are they gonna put like Xbox One next to Scorpio, or whether they're gonna do PC versus Scorpio? Because that's normally what Digital Foundry do. They normally stick up the Pro version and they stick up the PlayStation version. So it'd be interesting to see how they handle it.
I think you'll get that in the coming weeks or whatever like that, but not like right out the gate like this Thursday. I don't think you're going to get all those comparisons and things like that. I think the primary focus will be the Scorpio, the specs, like you guys said, and really helping the consumers and gamers, whatever, to understand what this thing can do. You know, let me ask this though, like what are like some of the other rumors? Because I've been hearing like there've been some crazy, like outlandish like rumors going on out here about the Scorpio and the reveal, anything like that. If there ain't like any other rumors that we don't know about?
The major one I've heard is that it's going to be smaller in size than the Xbox One S.
How they gonna pull that off?
Yeah, no, we talked about that on Throwdown. We explained how that's actually physically impossible. Like the you know, obviously the more stuff you have in a system, the more heat it disperses, right? If you have a smaller system, it's going to overheat, and they don't want another Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death situation, you know? So I don't believe that rumor at all, that it's going to be smaller. I'm going to guess it has to be relatively big, you know?
Having built a couple of PCs, you look at the specs and you think to yourself, they're going to be running that thing very hot. That thing is going to be boiling. You could probably do your fried breakfast on it. So they're going to have to try and cool that bad boy super fast and keep it fairly cool so they can kind of keep it as high as possible. because they want to be hitting kind of mid 4K kind of range with the add-on sort of thing. But
ain't no mid 4K, because I did hear that we're gonna get full native 4K on games like Red Dead Redemption.
I mean native 4K, but with like medium specs, you know, like anti-aliasing, all that sort of stuff. So if you were going to put it on a PC, you would have 4K, but you would have 4K medium for everything, that sort of thing.
Is that impressive though? Like, to you guys, it's impressive to me to hear that native 4K Red Dead Redemption. Like, I didn't really think that, honestly, this thing was going to be able to do native 4K in an open world game. Do you guys think there would be a compromise there in any way, or
remember,
do you think they're going to be able to deliver?
Here's the thing, because remember, they're going to employ this technique called sparse rendering. I'm not saying they're not going to have any native 4K games. They obviously will, but for the majority of third-party games, it's going to be that sparse rendering. Sparse rendering is the equivalent of checkerboard rendering, just so you guys know.
Right.
And this is something I've talked about before. I don't see third-party developers going all out to make the Scorpio version of the game super dope, because remember, they still need to make these exact same games on Xbox One, so they can't go too crazy, you know. Like the whatchamacallit, the first party games, they're obviously going to get the work. They're going to look brilliant, right? But the third party games, don't expect that. They're not going to put extra like work into let's just be honest, a SKU that is not selling as much as the others. Xbox One S is going to outsell this thing. Even Phil Spencer said this. So, you know, I don't expect to see a lot of developers going all out to make the Scorpio what it can be. It's kind of interesting, because a lot of guys were saying, oh, if the Scorpio is going to be held back, it's going to be held back because of the PlayStation 4 Pro. No, it's going to be held back by the Xbox One, because those games still need to work across both systems, you know. So it does kind of suck that we may never see the full power of the Scorpio, simply for the fact that the games still need to run on Xbox One. This is the same thing with the PlayStation 4 Pro. We're never going to see the full power of this thing, because those games still need to run on normal PlayStation 4, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense to an extent. But what about the case of Red Dead? Like, this is going to be native 4K. Like
if we
they're putting some work into this.
Has that been confirmed? By the way,
that's the third party.
Wait, so if you look at something like The Witcher 3, to get 4K, you know, 60 frames, to get the maximum out of it, you are looking at a GPU which is double the power. Now, I know there's other things under the hood as well that makes up that thing, but there are a lot of people that are running double graphics cards for that sort of thing. And we're talking, I mean, like the Titan X, for example, I think is about 11 teraflops. So just to give you an idea of the graphical power that it would have to try and hit to try and get those 4K high settings, it's going to be tough for that. But I think they'll be able to run more kind of indie games, less demanding games at a higher level of resolution. So I don't know if Red Dead's going to be up there.
I think that's a rumor. I think that's a rumor that has not been confirmed by Rockstar, to answer Tony's question before. But, you know, I don't know, man. I'm thinking like we're going to be like impressed. I don't think that it's going to be like the greatest thing ever, like a lot of people are making it. But I think we're going to be impressed. I think Microsoft really is going to be bringing it with this machine. So, Kev, I'm going to start this question off with you. Should we all be like excited for this thing? Like, because you got like Xbox guys who are like super hyped, super excited for this thing. You got a lot of PS guys, honestly, kind of downplaying it. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people who are like neutral. They're like, whatever. I'll just play it I'll just get 4K on my PC. I'm not worried about it. Should we like all be like super hyped that, you know, this most powerful console ever is about to be released?
I can see why on the PC end you wouldn't necessarily care. I mean, you're able to do that anyway. So I can understand why somebody who's like heavily invested in the PC ecosystem wouldn't care. However, I think on the console end, people should be absolutely excited. I mean,
no matter what platform you play on, you think everybody should be excited?
Yeah, this is a new piece of technology. This is something that at its very base level, you're a game. If you consider yourself a gamer, this is a brand new piece of hardware. This is something that is supposed to be more powerful than its predecessor, supposed to have more tricks than its predecessor. This should be exciting for you to witness, even if you don't plan on buying it. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not planning on buying a Scorpio. I haven't invested in the Xbox ecosystem, but I think it's extremely important on both ends. I mean, even from a PlayStation side, of things. You should be excited for this. This means more ideas and more ingenuity that can be brought into the gaming space for you as a consumer later down the line. This puts Sony on their toes, and they're going to be watching, and they're going to be learning.
Mm-hmm.
This will eventually bleed into what they can, should, and shouldn't do for the next iteration of the PlayStation. So you should be absolutely excited for this, and honestly, you should hope that it succeeds. Having a successful platform in the market is healthy for the market overall.
I can get behind that. I can get behind what you're saying right there. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it's the same thing I was saying about the Switch. When the Switch came out, nobody should hope that the Switch fails or thinks that, or should hope that the Switch is trash. I mean, again, we saw those mock-ups of something that Sony was cooking up that looked similar to what the Switch was. So you better believe Sony is watching the progress of the Switch. Maybe that's a direction they may go in. Maybe it's not. And if the Switch succeeds, then they may take certain elements and implement that in their next console. If it doesn't, then you know what they're not going to put in, and you're better off that way, right?
Yeah, here's my thing though. I'm excited for it, just because I've always said this, like, graphics definitely matter. They don't matter over gameplay or nothing like that. Don't get me wrong. But, pretty games, they matter to me. Like, I do like pretty games. I'm interested to see how far they can push the technology, how these games are going to look and things like that. But, like, personally, I'm not, like, overhyped about it because I don't have a 4K TV. And I'm not in that world yet. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't get into that world until 2018. That's why I didn't get a PS4 Pro. Is because I don't have a 4K TV. Like, I'm not going to reap like the full benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just excited to see, like I said, how far they can push technology and stuff. But as far as that's as far as my excitement goes for the Scorpio or the Pro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I am happy that they're moving, the technology in new directions, being more innovative and things like that. I'm definitely on board with that. I ain't got no problem with that at all. Real quick to go off of that, let me ask you guys this. So there are people who are not excited about it, right? A lot of PlayStation fans are not excited about it, downplaying it, whatever like that. If you're not excited for this thing, are you like a fanboy or like a hypocrite? Like, are you like the worst person in the world, anti-consumer, anti-gamer? If you're just like blah to the Scorpio, is that like your MO? Like off top, or
no?
Like,
that's a stupid thing to say, to be honest. Like, what if you're just plain not interested? What if you're like let's just say, for the sake of argument, what if you're a PlayStation guy, right, who doesn't even like get into these console wars? All you do is just play your PlayStation game, you're happy. Why would you even care about the Scorpio? So being indifferent to it, not caring about it, I don't see how that's bad. And if you're a PC guy, how can you want to be excited about it when you could play these games looking even better on your system? So yeah, I don't think not being excited is a bad thing. I think all gamers should be interested in what Microsoft is going to do, right? But getting hyped up, like, I don't think that's necessary. Like, we're gamers supposed to be hyped up for the Pro? That's stupid too. They should just, people should be excited for what they want to be about, not because like it's an industry thing or whatever. Everybody's different. You can't just be telling people, oh, you're a fanboy because you're not excited about this. What if they're just not interested?
Right.
So that's my stance on it. Not everybody needs to, be on the same level with that. Everybody should be interested for sure. Like, hey, what are they doing? You should be intrigued. You should be curious, sure, but excited, you don't need to be excited.
Yeah, I agree with that. British Beef, what do you think, man?
I'm excited from a tech point of view. I'm going to nerd out a little bit on it. I'm going to see how they get it to work. I mean, I found like the whole checkerboard thing on PlayStation Pro really interesting. I'm really interested to see if they can kind of live up to some of their hype that they've been giving it themselves. I hope that they do. I generally think that Phil Spencer is good for the industry, and I think to have good competition is really important. I mean, we don't remember the Nintendo dominance. We remember the Nintendo versus Sega. I mean, that's what we want. That you want them to keep pushing each other, keep raising the bar. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you want with, say, like the PS Plus. You know, you want each month them to be raising the bar on what games that they offer, so they challenge each other. You want the consoles to be like that. You want the exclusive games to be like that, so they keep bringing the best out of each other. It's really important to do that. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it from a tech point of view. So I'm going to be on that Digital Foundry video on Thursday, just writing it all down, trying to work out what it can do, and just following that really. But I think Xbox fans should be really excited for it. I think it'll be a great thing to have for them. I think it will put them in a good power play going forwards.
That power play.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think they'll be loving it. The fanboys will be loving it. I think the fanboys of Sony will be on the defensive for the next year or two. I mean, I've thrown my bold prediction out of the PS5 announcement at E3. So that might be kind of like a counterpunch again. But we'll see.
So here's the thing. You mentioned that. So do you think a lot of people's excitement is solely based on the power play alone? Like, shouldn't people be concerned about the game still? Like, more than that? Like, I mean, you can have the more powerful console, but with no game, it's pretty much going to be useless, right? So
I mean, that's the problem facing Scorpio. All the games that it's going to have are going to be available on Xbox One or PC, right? So that's going to be like tough right there. But you're right. People should be talking about the games. But I've heard Xbox guys legitimately go, I don't care about games. I just want it to be powerful. But I'm like, okay, if it's powerful, but if it's not have any games, then what does it matter? You know? So yeah, I do see some guys like genuinely get excited just because it's a power play, as you say, you know, ammo for the console war, right? But
there's been a lot of hurt feelings out there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But you know, just quickly, me personally, I can't say I'm excited because they're gonna have a gaming PC to play those games. Again, I played Gears of War 4 at like 140 frames a second. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how that looks. I'm a console peasant. I can't even imagine.
but I'm not, again, I'm not excited for the system, but I am very excited for the news on Thursday. As both a gamer and a guy who covers this for a living, right? I want to see what Microsoft is doing. I want to see, because I don't think they're going to hit those marks that they claim. So I'm like, okay, how close are you going to get to what you promised? But because I do ultimately think that competition is a good thing, but at the same time, the Scorpio is not meant to be like a replacement for Xbox One. It's not meant to be the best selling of the two. So I don't know if it'll like bump up sales too much in that department, right? But it'll still be good because it's like, hey, this is what we're capable of now. And then maybe future manufacturers could learn off of that and make more powerful systems for less money. You know what I mean? So on that tip, on a technological tip, that's exciting, like a new system in that regard. Even I guess, just to answer your question, I get again, so we know how we do things off the cuff, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be excited for purchasing it if you're not interested, but you should be excited for the news because it's interesting. So I'll give you that. Yeah, you should be excited for the news itself. Yes,
definitely. And so should all, like, let's say this, because this is going around too. Being that the third-party games are going to look better, perform better on a Scorpio, should everybody?
We don't know that. We don't know that. Just throw that out there.
Yeah. So rumor, right? Rumor. So like, rumor is like it's going to be all third-party games going to look better on it or whatever like that, right? So if you have both consoles, like, should that just be your default now based on power alone? Like, you should play all the third-party games on the Scorpio. Like,
if power is the standard. If power is important to, yes, but let's say, for example, I'm going to use me, for example. Let's say if I have a Scorpio and a PlayStation, right? I'm going to gravitate more towards the games because I like trophies, I like that. But if it's pure power, if you have a PC, you're not going to be playing on Scorpio, but just purely for the consoles, like, it depends. What if you have more friends on PlayStation, right? Take that into consideration. I think that's actually probably more of a deal breaker for most people than anything. Like, what platform are your games on? I think that's why PlayStation's been selling so well this generation. Since most people are on it, they want to be with their friends, right? So it really comes down to what platform are your friends playing on? Power. Here's the thing. Power. I think we've gotten to a point, even though like we have some amazing looking games on PC. I think we've gotten to a point where even if the game looks pretty, the gameplay mechanics are still the same. They're all roughly the equivalent. So I don't think it's going to make too much difference on that end,
No, I feel you. Like for me, like I think things aren't as black and white as a lot of people think. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's just the type of gamer you are, and I can only speak for myself. But like, I've always been the type of gamer that I would typically have, a primary console. And that primary console is the one that gives me the most exclusive games, that I like. And all my third-party games, I pretty much will play everything on that console, and I'll have another console strictly for their exclusives only. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think it's just the type of gamer that you are, and I think a lot of people have to understand that. Like, yeah, the Scorpio could be the most powerful console, and all the third parties could possibly look better on it or whatever. But if your primary console that's giving you like the most exclusives, the type of games that you like, you're probably going to stick in that ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? You're probably going to stick there. There may be one-off games here or there that you'll play third party on, the Scorpio or whatever in that scenario. But at the end of the day, I think more people are still going to stick to that, but everybody's different. And I don't think things are as black and white as a lot of people are making it seem. I think people got to keep that in mind. People get lost in the whole internet game. Like, they get lost in it. Then they forget that people are real people. You know what I'm saying? And the majority of people aren't even in this demographic that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people forget that and forget to take that into account. But Kev, you got any thoughts on this? You're the smartest one here. You need to talk the most.
I don't know if I'm the smartest one here, but yeah, I mean, I agree with what everybody's saying. At the end of the day, ultimately, if power is your main thing, if that is the top bullet point on your list, then yeah, go ahead and play on Scorpio. That's perfectly fine. Nobody's condemning you for doing so. You're a free-willed individual. Have fun.
Have that
yeah. If again, I mean, using me as an example, I had an Xbox and I got rid of it because I never used it. And I never used it because all of my friends were on PlayStation. Now, that's not to say that, I thought that the Xbox was a terrible system or anything like that.
No, that's exactly what that means. That's what everybody's taking it as right now, sir. You're the worst gamer on earth. You're a hater.
I'm sure that's how people are taking it. But hater, I think it's a fantastic console. I just, I didn't really care much about any of the exclusives. In terms of, Gears, Halo, I've played all of them before on the Xbox 360 and the original Xbox. I had fatigue. So, I didn't really care. So I got rid of it. Hence why I still play on my PlayStation. All my friends are there. I have the most fun playing on it. So if, you have different criteria as to why you're playing on a particular console, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, for this Scorpio news, everybody should be really excited for the news of it. If you're not planning on picking it up, then great. If you are, fantastic. There's no downside to this at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's no downside or whatever. I just, people need to be equally, I mean, they can be excited and everything, but let's not forget this is about games, and exclusives matter. I don't care what anybody says. This is my opinion. Exclusives matter. And for me, Microsoft needs to bring the exclusives, new IPs, things like that in conjunction with this, so it's good that they're doing this or whatever reason they have for doing it, power play, trying to turn the tide based on power, whatever the argument may be. But they need some new IPs to go along with this, in my opinion. And, so I'm definitely interested, like you guys said. So before we get out of here real quick, I want to know from the panel, ultimately, what does this do for console gaming as a whole? Just your last thoughts on this in general. Tony, our special guest, what does this do for console gaming, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it just solidifies the fact that we now live in the age of iterative consoles. Now you're not going to have, I mean, you're still going to get like the official upgrades or whatever, but now you're going to see mid-gen consoles, right? Like with the PlayStation 4 Pro, you're going to see expect a PlayStation 5 Pro, stuff like that, right? Because again, and this is something Phil Spencer said, they want to emulate mobile devices and PC parts where they're iterated more constantly. Obviously, you can't be having new consoles every year, so I think they found a good middle ground in 3 to 4 years, right? So that's what Scorpio and Pro signify to me, that this is just solidifying that we're going to be getting consoles more frequently. Whether you like that or not, that's up to you, but that's what's happening. That's the reality of it, you know?
Yeah, it's a changing world. I don't know if my pockets are ready for it.
Yeah, but the great thing about this is you don't need to be buying all these consoles, because since they're all backwards compatible now, you could just skip a generation. You know, like for example, I have the whatchamacallit, the Galaxy S7, right? I skipped 6, so I'm probably going to get the 9, and I don't even get them when they first come out. I get them like a year or two later. You know, you're allowed to skip. If you don't want to get the Pro, fine, wait for the PS5. You don't want to get the Xbox One S or whatever, get the Scorpio, stuff like that. So yeah, that's what's going on. So you don't need to buy all these systems. Get them when you're ready, you know?
Right. I think that's really hard for people, Tony. Like in this day and age, this microwave generation, it's hard, man. It's like, even me, I struggle with not buying all these games that are coming out, day one. I really struggle with that. Like, it's an addiction. It's a problem. So I think that's real struggle for a lot of people. But I get what you're saying there. You don't have to, and that's the good thing, though, too. Like you said, I really do appreciate that they're moving in that direction to where it's like backwards compatible, no excuses. We won't have any of the BS, that PlayStation and Xbox came out with this generation in the beginning and stuff like that, where games weren't backwards compatible. So we will eliminate that whole issue, by doing this as well. So that is a good point right there. Any other thoughts, Tony? Because everybody loves Tony's take, and we want to squeeze every ounce of Tony's take out of you tonight, sir.
Oh, that juice, son.
Give the people that juice, Tony.
Yeah, but like I said, man, it's an interesting time, man. Iterative consoles are here to stay, because I know even I'm still kind of against it, to be honest, even though, just like you said, I'm probably going to get them anyway, I don't know about Scorpio, though, because I think that's a little too close, to be honest, but actually, you know what? Funny story. The only reason I bought a PS4 Pro is not because it was the upgrade. It's because my PS4 Pro, my regular PS4 broke. I'm not, it's a crazy situation that happened there. So I kind of have like, you know what? Instead of getting the Slim, let me just get the Pro, whatever. But yeah, that's how it is, man. Just get ready for the iterative age of gaming. But at the same time, we no longer have to subject ourselves to, oh crap, I can't play my old games. Everything's backwards compatible, so that's a great thing. Gaming is, I think right now is probably the most interesting time in gaming, because we don't know where things are going. Like even back 5 or 6 years ago, we kind of knew where things were heading. Now is completely different, bro. Completely different. So it's very exciting in that way, and we'll have to see, man. You never know. Maybe Microsoft could come back. They could come back. You never know, man.
You never know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I doubt it.
It ain't gonna happen to that effect. Like people, it's not gonna happen to the effect that people are hoping.
Now, listen, the Scorpio is not gonna close the gap. If you guys are out there thinking it's gonna close the gap, a system that costs, that's probably going to cost $500 minimum, ain't gonna be closing no gaps. So stop that. But at the same time, and since I'm here, I want to say this to the Xbox fans, right? I know I'm getting some haters in the comments too. I love you guys. Don't worry about and this applies to PlayStation guys too. Don't worry about the other side, man. If you have an Xbox, you have a PlayStation, don't worry about the other guys, bro. Do you? If you could afford both systems, great, do it. But if you can't, stop talking nonsense. Stop talking BS and just enjoy what you got until you can enjoy what the other side has too. There is no reason to be hating. Like jokes aside, that's fine. If you want to joke around, that's fine. But don't take this stuff too seriously. At the end of the day, it's video games, man. It's supposed to be fun.
Exactly.
All this toxic nonsense. Stop it, man. Have fun.
Exactly. Hashtag preach. Hashtag do you. Hashtag do you. I like that. So yo, Kev, at the end of the day, man, is this a good for console gaming as a whole?
I mean, the news of it and what Scorpio can be, it is absolutely good for the console gaming market as a whole. Now, it'll be interesting to see how, this iterative console cycle works out. I think we're still too early to see how it will pan out, both for the consumer and on Sony and Microsoft's end. We don't know how much they're spending in R&D for this and whether it's worth it for them to spend that money. I think it's a little too early to tell, but I as of right now, I think it's still at least healthy to experiment and healthy for the market as a whole to experience what Scorpio and what the PlayStation 4 Pro can do.
Nice. My man, British Beef, closing remarks for tonight, sir.
I think everyone should just enjoy what they've got, like what Tony was saying. I mean, we're so lucky in this generation of what we're getting. We're almost getting spoiled way too much. You just have to go back when we were like young kids and stuff like that, and we had Game Boys that you'd have to attach a massive, great big light system to and stuff like that. The thought of taking away your games console when it's almost kind of lifelike graphics, and it's unbelievable. And I think we should just enjoy the games that are coming out. And I think the fanboy war is going to happen. In a way, I think it's quite healthy. I mean, it spawned like the inner circle. It spawned all sorts of websites. It's spawned what Tony's doing as well. So it's great fun, and it's always going to have a little bit of that. It's like any sport, you have people who just take it to another level when it comes to being mega serious with it.
Yeah.
So man, ending statement from me about the Scorpio, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what it can do. I think it's exciting times. I think it's interesting. I watched a video about Digital Foundry the other day where they did it at EGX, and they were saying that we're probably going to max out at 4K. Because 8K is for like massive, great big wall screens, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. We're probably all going to end up with half wall TV screens, So it'll be interesting to see where we go. The next 10 years, it's one of those things where you play GoldenEye back in the days on the N64 and you think graphics can't get any better than this. And you play games now, you think graphics can't get any better than this, but they probably will. And we'll have no idea how they'll get there. So it's a mega exciting time. So
yeah, it's definitely good. I agree with you guys a lot of what you're saying. Just to reiterate before we get out of here and stuff, the reason why we're talking about Xbox and Scorpio and all that stuff, because it is PlayStation's biggest competitor. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reason why we're talking about it tonight. I know it's a PlayStation podcast and people don't like you talking about Xbox on PlayStation podcast or whatever. But look, this is gaming. It's a gaming console, and we're going to talk about it at the end of the day. And, for me, I'm excited, to see, the graphical power of this thing, because I do like graphics, but it's not going to benefit me personally because, like I said, I'm not living that 4K life, so I'm still going to be playing on my PlayStation, enjoying those exclusives and the third-party games on that console. Let me say this, when Microsoft begins to throw out some, great new IPs like they used to do in the 360 days, and, that appeal to me as a gamer, I may start gravitating more on that side. Who knows? Like last generation, people call me a PlayStation fanboy, but last generation, I was like only Xbox 360 mostly. I pretty much go where the games go. I go where the exclusives go at the end of the day, and that will never change. That's the type of gamer I am. I grew up in the freaking 80s and 90s, man. That's what it was all about. So that's instilled in me, and that's the way I always will be. So I have no like super hardcore loyalty to either side. I am biased to an extent to whatever side's giving me the best exclusives and the best games. That's how it always will be. So yeah, I'm definitely excited, for what Microsoft's doing. I just want to see them bring out more exclusive new IPs and things like that to go along with this. And that's just my take on it. No hate, no problems, good for them. And good for everybody who's going to be able to get the Scorpio, on that beautiful 4K TV. I know I'm going to go chill by Fame's house and check it out on his 4K TV because he's rich. He has 4K TVs and stuff. So I'm gonna go over there and check it out, and I'm gonna be happy with it. I'm gonna be happy with those 4K graphics, what I'm saying? Those native sparse rendered 4K graphics, so thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm gonna let everybody do their outros. I'm saying? I'm gonna start with our special guest for tonight. Tony, tell them what you about, where they can find you, all that good stuff, man, before we head out of here.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on, man. This is the kind of podcast I like being on. I don't like the fact that I can't curse, but other than that,
You did really well, man. You did really well.
How hard was it, Tony? Was it really
Yo, I mean, I think I got used to it after the first half an hour, but but real talk, man. You guys are true gamers, man. Love being on this podcast. Hopefully you guys will have me on again. I know you'll be on Throwdown this week, so that'll be
the king of indies himself is coming on Throwdown this Thursday. I'm excited. I'm hyped, man. I was checking out your Tony's Take and the podcast where you guys talking about Destiny and Mass Effect and things like that. So it's pretty dope. I'm excited to, get in there with you guys for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. So yeah, and you can curse all you want, just letting you know.
Oh, let's go. Let's
no
go.
Limits, you want to talk about.
I'm dropping those N-bombs.
yeah, you go right for it. Go for it. It's all good, you can say pussy cats if you want.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty sure you'll link everybody. Romudeth, ROMUDETH. Check out my bio right there. It's gonna give you links to Throwdown, Geek.com, and everything else I'm up to, man. You definitely want to follow me on Twitter, man. Like, I'm always getting into something. Like, here's the thing about me. I say something and then like 50 million replies. I'm not trying to start nothing, but dudes are always coming after me. So my Twitter, very, very entertaining, if I do say so myself, man.
Nice.
But yeah, once again, man, thank you so much for having me on. A lot of fun.
Always. Thanks for coming on for sure, man. Always a pleasure to have, a big time person like you up in here. Because we rookies out here. So it's always good to get a vet up in here.
PlayStation for life, son.
All day. Let's go. Throw up them fours out here. PS4.
I'm not on camera. I was doing that, son. But seriously, keep it gaming, man. Keep it gaming. Whatever platform you're on, man. Just have fun, guys.
Right. Exactly. So let's go, my man. Kev, go ahead and say your outros where people can find you, all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for Tony for hopping on. This is really good. I think we had a lot of constructive conversation on here, especially about the Xbox stuff. You can find me on Twitter at Dark Tagger, and also I help run the Trophy Life podcast, so you can follow that at trophylife_pod.
Nice. And all these links, Tony's links, and the Twitters, all that stuff is going to be in the description. I'm a little late on it, but I'm gonna do my homework before I go to bed, and then I promise you guys it's gonna be there. British Beef, the realest dude out here in these streets, man. Tell everybody good night, sir.
Good night, everybody.
What time is it over there, dog? Hold on, I'm sorry. What time is it?
Man, it is 2:36. Good thing I don't get up tomorrow morning. It's all good. Massive thank you to Tony for coming on, man. Really enjoyed the chat, man. You've got yourself a friend and a follower, for sure. Awesome. Thanks to Kev, Maya, and Nick as well. And thank you so much to the guys who've tuned in live and in the chat. Big shout out to Chris Cobra as well, man. I know the dude's a big follower of us, and we thank you for your support, man.
Definitely.
Guys, keep it absolutely gaming. Keep it strong. Enjoy the games. Try and support each other. It's not going to happen, but please try a little bit. So like that. So you guys can follow me on Stubbsy Viking. At Stubbsy Viking on Twitter. Man, just keep it real, man, and thanks all.
That's what's up. And last but certainly not least, this is Nicodemus, the king of indies himself, ladies and gentlemen. It was great having you guys. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out, because like lives matter on YouTube. And also make sure you check me out on Twitter as well. Nicodemus_X. And also I have a modest YouTube channel if you guys like real gaming, indie gaming, and things like that. Come on over, check out my YouTube channel, and make sure you guys go to ticgn.com. That's TICGN.com for all your gaming news, reviews, and opinionated pieces. Got some great stuff over there, some great content. Man, this is the Inner Circle, man. We are here, and this is the PlayStation Podcast. And we're out of here, man. And all I got to say is this. PlayStation is the best station, and we are the best nation. Good night, everybody.
Every time, man. Every time. Just dropping that mic.
Hashtag do you. You heard me?
Peace out, people.
Peace out. We out here, man.